Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. I created another version of my cute little reindeer ornament, and I thought I would share that with you today. This one I created with coiled 18 gauge wire. Perhaps you saw the other two reindeer ornaments I created. One was a yarn pom-pom, and the other was little wood chunks. If you haven't seen those yet, check my playlist and check out those tutorials. This one is made of coiled wire. I love making unique Christmas ornaments, and if you do as well, check out this tutorial. Welcome to all to my channel today, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this Christmas ornament tutorial. Okay, let me show you how I created this and what materials I used for this piece. I'm going to, again, use these little reindeer heads. I had purchased these on Amazon last year, but I'm sure they are still can be found on Amazon. Actually, check it out because they have different ones on Amazon, but I, in particular, like that particular reindeer head. So I'm going to be using this 18 gauge wire. I purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and this is a good thickness of wire to use for this project. Now you can use a dowel or anything that you could find to wrap and coil the wire around. This is just some kind of random piece that I have, but it's 1 inch in circumference, so that's a good measure to go by. Just something around 1 inch. And you're also going to need a straw or something of a similar circumference to wrap the wires around for the legs. I have here a little can of brown spray paint, Krylon. I picked that up at Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to use 3 of those heads because I like to glue them together to create some thickness. And I have some Waverly antiquing wax that I'm going to use to color the head of the reindeer, as well as some white and black paint to paint on the eyes of the reindeer. I also had there a little half wood round to use for the nose. And again, I'm going to use bells for the feet. Those are small bells that I purchased in the craft department at Hobby Lobby. Not in the Christmas department, but it's in this section with all the bells. You're going to need wire cutters and scissors and needle nose pliers. I have there some ribbon that I'm going to create a little bow because I'm going to put a wreath around the neck of the reindeer. I have there a Sharpie marker and a fine point paintbrush. And I'm going to begin by creating the body of my reindeer. Now I cut a 24-inch piece of this wire. And I cut 2 pieces. And I'm going, so I have a double thickness of the wire. So I have some substantial strength to the body of the reindeer. So what I'm going to do is begin wrapping that 18 gauge wire around whatever you use, a dowel or whatever piece that you use. Again, I cut that in 24 inches. You might not need exactly that long of a piece, but that's the piece, the length of the piece I cut initially. I was figuring this out as I go along here. So I just wrapped and wrapped and wrapped, and this is going to serve as the body of my reindeer. So my reindeer is going to have a coiled wire body and coiled wire legs and a little coiled wire tail. Now, don't ask me where this idea came from. It just sort of popped into my head. But I really like creating unique Christmas ornaments. So I just had this idea to create this little reindeer with a wire coiled body and legs. All right, so for the end of my coiled piece, I want to create kind of like a flat piece, and I want to finish that off by tucking in any of those little ends. And I use my needle nose plier a lot when I do this. So I'm not squishing up my wire a little bit to condense the size of the body. And with my piece, my rounded piece that I created on the end there, that's what I'm going to glue my reindeer head to. So I just created a nice flat little kind of a platform. And that's, again, what I'm going to glue that head onto once I have that all painted up and ready to go. Now on the back end of my reindeer body, I'm going to take a little small piece of that wire and coil that. It's going to be the reindeer tail. It's going to be very easy to just wire that right onto the back end of that little body piece there. So now again, I'm just finishing off the back so that I don't have any wires poking out from the back. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and curl the wire for my legs. And I used about 7 to 8 inches a piece of wire for each leg. So cut around 7 to 8 inches of wire, wrap it around your straw, and again, condense the length of it, and you'll see how easy this is to just attach those bells by creating a little wire loop at the end of your coil. And then you just take your needle nose plier and close off the loop, and you can attach your legs so easy like that, as well as your bells. This is a very easy piece to do. So I took a piece of cardboard, I put some, doubled up some painter's tape, and I just stuck my little legs and the body of my reindeer, and I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it. And the reason why I did that was to keep the coiled pieces from rolling around while I spray painted it. So now I'm going to take my Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I'm just going to glue all 3 of those pieces together. Now, I showed you there while I was talking that those reindeers come with faces on them. Now, you can use the faces if you don't want to paint your own. I like to do my own. So I just layered up those 3 pieces, and I sandwiched the face pieces on the inside so you don't see the face. So now I'm just going to take my Waverly antiquing wax. Now, if you watched my other videos, you pretty much saw me do this part, but I did do a couple little things different. So if you want to continue watching that, or just forward over this part. So I take a little bit of that antiquing wax on a little piece of fabric, and then I wipe off the excess, and I do both sides. I'm going to be painting my eyes on there, and I have a little wood half round that this time I'm using a little wood half round. On my other ones, I used a red tinsel pom-pom for Rudolph, and then on one of my other ornaments as well, I didn't put a red nose. I used little black coiled wires for nostrils. So check those videos out if you're interested in making the different versions of these reindeer ornaments. I'm going to show you here how I did my eyes again. I have 3 different eyes here to choose from. I'm doing that one right there on my piece. So what I do in actuality, if you look here, it's 2 teardrops. They're close together, and I just draw 2 teardrops. I draw in a line for the eyeball, and then I put some eyelashes. It's that easy to do. Now, if you don't want to do that one, you could do 2 ovals, I put the head, the top of the ovals close together, and I kind of slant the eyes a little bit, put on some eyelashes. Now this one at the bottom is exactly the same as that one, only I created an eyelid by putting a swoosh through the top of the teardrop. I put a couple of little lines to define the ears, and I am going to go ahead and paint my nose now. I have that little wood half round stuck to the table with a little piece of painter's tape, and I'm just going to use a red acrylic paint and paint the nose. I do put a little white swoosh over the top of the nose. Now you could do your reindeers as Rudolph, or you could just do them as a regular reindeer and just create nostrils instead of the nose. Now what I'm doing here is creating the hanger, and I wanted a nice rounded area on the top of the hanger. I'm making it out of that same 18 gauge wire. I folded it in half and wrapped it around that dowel piece again. And then I wanted just a couple of little curly sections of wire on my hanger. So I went down about 1 inch from the top where I folded it over, and I wrapped it around a pencil around 3 times. And I just created a little visual interest to my wire hanger. And this is what I'm going to attach very easily to the body of that reindeer by simply using my needle nose pliers, creating a little loop, wrapping it around the wire of the body, and then closing it off with my needle nose pliers. This is super easy to do. I have there I have some bigger needle nose pliers, but I have some really little ones too that I picked up at Crafter's Square. Okay, so I have done my eyes. I used a fine tip paintbrush. I showed you which eyes I've been using and how I did them. Now I'm going to take my little nose with the white swoosh on top, my wood half round. I'm just going to use Aleene's Tacky Glue and glue that right to the face. This one is going to be Rudolph. Now I went ahead and created the general shape of the wreath that's going to go around the neck. Now I'm showing you, there's my wood chunk little ornament that I created in another video with the little wire nostrils. Oh, so cute. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little pipe cleaner, one of those evergreen looking pipe cleaner stems that you can get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or anywhere really. And that's what I'm going to create the wreath out of. And I'm just going to create a little bow for the wreath and put a little jingle bell in the center for a little bit of color and decoration to that reindeer. I ended up using a red jingle bell. Now for the bow, quite simply, I just created a little 2-loop bow by folding over the ribbons. And then I just stick a little dab of hot glue in there to secure that. Then I hot glue the bell right in the center. And now I have everything all ready for when I put the wreath around the neck of my little reindeer. I angled the tails on my bow. That's going to go right there at the bottom. I did put a few little tiny red berries on that wreath as a last minute finishing touch. Now I don't know if I showed that, but for the antlers of my my reindeer, I just put another layer of antiquing wax just so they would be a little bit darker. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I adhered my coil that serves as the body right to the back of the head of that reindeer. Now I'm going to put some of that Gorilla Glue. You could also use E6000 And I'm going to place it on there and place it right to the back of the head. Pretty much at like the base of the a little bit down from the base of the antlers. And I'm going to take a couple of my Dollar Tree clips because this is going to take a while to dry. I actually let mine dry overnight because I wanted it to be really secure on there. Now, you can see that my wires that are coiled up, they're brown now because I took them outside and painted them. So now the body is brown and the legs are brown. I also took my little hanger outside and spray painted that red. So my hanger is red. Now I'm going to show you. I just take my little needle nose plier, turn it so that I have a little loop on the end of my wire, and then I just hook it around the wires of the body. And then I just take my little needle nose pliers. These are great. I picked these up at in the Crafter Square section at Dollar Tree. And then I just stick my little pliers in there and close that loop. So I attach that right behind the neck to the body, and then I'm going to attach it to the tail area. And it's very simple to do. See how I created a loop? I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but it's really very simple. You're just bending that wire, creating a little loop so that you can wrap it around the coiled body, and then you just close the loop with your needle nose pliers. Now I'm doing the same thing on the back end, and now I've created a hanger that coordinates with the wire theme of the reindeer. Again, I'm creating my little loop. And now I'm going to hook it right to the back end, loop it around that wire, and then close it off with my needle nose plier. And now that's all attached. This is all very easy. And this is the same way that you're going to attach the legs. Now, I found that to make sure that my legs are even, if you have a little ornament hanger, it really helps. Or some way to like hang your ornament so that you can attach the legs to your coiled body, just so that it helps you to make sure that you have all of your legs at an even length. Now I have mine on there. I'm going to try and just explain it to you as I go along. Now here's my legs. I'm going to show you how to do one of them. Again, same thing. You're going to take your wire, create a little loop, and then you just attach it where you want your legs placed, right on to the body. And then you close off the loop, and now it's completely attached. Now, I did choose to, after I had all my legs attached, I felt that they were kind of wanting to congregate more toward the center of the coiled body. So I just took a little toothpick and a little dab of glue, like Aleene's Tacky Glue or that Gorilla Glue. And I just took my toothpick and I placed a little bit of glue on the wire, and then I placed my little coiled legs right down in that dab of glue, and that kept my legs from moving around on that coiled body. And I just let them sit there and dry like that. This way I could have my legs placed exactly the way I wanted them. Now I attached my little bells. There's a little loop on the top of the bells. And same thing, you just create a little loop on the bottom of your wired leg, stick the bell on there, and then close it off with your needle nose pliers. All right, so I decided, because I was going with the wired theme, for the head of my reindeer, there's a little hole at the in between the antlers there because I think these are meant to be ornaments. So what I did was I took, like, you could use like a skewer, one of those kitchen skewers, or something of equal circumference. And I'm just wrapping around some copper wire. It's about the thickness of a floral wire. And I'm just creating some little sprigs of hair that's going to be poking out on the top of the head of my reindeer. Now, on my other reindeers, I used a jute cord for the hair. This time I'm using coiled wire. So I took 3 pieces of wire and I made them each about 3 inches long. I attached them together, and then I took my little piece that I used to coil up my wire, coiled all 3 pieces. Now I'm just going to stick it right in that hole. And now my reindeer has some very crazy little wiry hair on the very top of the head. And just a cute little touch, again, to go with the wiry theme, if you will, of this piece. Now, I just think these are going to be so cute hanging on a Christmas tree. I'm just really kind of in love with making reindeer ornaments. All right, now I'm doing the tail. So I took a little piece of wire. I think it was around maybe 3 inches. I just coiled it up on a pencil, and I created a loop, attached to the back, closed it off with my needle nose pliers. And that is it. So cute. All right, so I have my legs on, my little bell feet. I have my crazy little coily hair on top of the head. Now it's time to attach my wreath. So I decide exactly how big I want my wreath, and I just simply put a little bit of hot glue on the back of the neck, and I glue my wreath right to the back of the neck. And here you have my crazy, funny, and I think very creative little coiled wire reindeer ornament. I love it. I hope you do as well. Let me know what you think of this one. And don't forget to check out my other reindeer ornaments with the pom-pom and the wood chunks. Those are fun to make as well. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And give this video a thumbs up if you would. Okay, until next time, y'all take care.